You would be surprised. When I first came to work with this company, they were in the lower left-hand quadrant, which is this quadrant right here. Very hard to close. These were the inbound search engine optimization they were spending a ton of money on trying to get going. Here's where you want to be. When you're doing outbound calling, you really should be calling on those highest likelihood of winning and highest revenue potential. So my first task was, let me find all the companies in their database who have multiple locations, have great, revenue coming in. And so I started the referral programs with those. And so far, we've gotten into companies like MetLife, Chase. We just worked on a deal with Walmart. I mean, it's just amazing because I picked the really high-end companies to call into to get the referrals. And chances are, if your message hits home with somebody in the organization, they will call you back and they will want to have a conference call with you to understand what it is that you can do to help them.
By the way, that slide in this ideal customer, it sounds, you're like, yeah, sure, of course we're going to target the highest revenue potential. But what happens is the CEO or VP of sales just wants deals. And so it's like you end up targeting a list where you've got small, medium, and large, and reps get responses from even smaller companies, and they end up chasing because they need to show some sort of lead or results or activity because of the pressure. And so what ends up happening is the organization does end up chasing lots of smaller, harder to win deals. So it takes effort to get back to the upper right part of the quadrant, to say no to smaller ones.
Right, and we definitely had that going on here. And we still do that to some extent because we do follow up on those inbound leads. And there is a tendency to stay in that comfort zone, quote unquote, but it's really not any more comfortable. It takes just as much time to work. I think you'll find that once you really commit to this process, you'll just want to focus on those high-end opportunities for yourself. So the ideal customer profile, in my mind, is the heart of this whole outbound process. And these items here are just some clues and some things for you to think about when you're crafting your ideal customer profile. And remember, this is something that is an ongoing tweaking. It doesn't happen once and you put it aside. It is constantly changing. Companies could be merging. Companies could have had a downsize, or some key decision makers could have gone someplace else. So you want to really look at what's changing in your customer base if you have customers, or in your product lines that you service different types of companies now, or you have new products coming out where you want to scope out yet another ideal customer profile. So we have 3 for the company that I'm working with right now. We have a professional services side, ideal customer profile. We have a software as a service, ideal customer profile. And then we have a services side, which are just people who do work for other entities. They become like an extension of their team. So we have 3 that we work on, and they're constantly getting tweaked. The other thing to consider, if you do have existing customers, which some startups don't, is really ask yourself these questions. Why did they do business with us in the first place? Because that's going to help you craft your themes that I talked about before when you're getting into that first conversation, that starting conversation with the decision maker. Why did they do business with you to begin with? What differences have you made for them? Are they still your clients? Why are they still your clients? All feed into that ideal customer profile, whether you have an existing customer base or not. Once you start getting customers, you want to really know this because it's going to influence your ideal customer profile.